and welcome to Engineering and You. This is a program where we encourage young Nigerians to study science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We want people, more young Nigerians, to go into the field of engineering so that our nation can be better in every sphere of human endeavor. My name is Tunelani once again, and if you are aware, if you are a regular viewer of this program, you would understand that this program is not only about us talking to you, but it's about you also talking right back to us, while we give you some questions for the day and questions for the week. For last week, we have a winner who got our question right on Facebook. His name is Tammy George. Tammy, I know you're watching us. I believe you're watching us. So call this number and your gift will get right to you. 0703-161-1497. 0703-161-1497. Call that number and your gift will get to you. The gift is courtesy Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, FNSC, and partly supported also by the Nigeria Society of Engineers Abeokuta branch. The question for the day, while the program goes on, is what is the formula form for hydrosulfuric acid? The formula form for hydrosulfuric acid. If you know the answer, call us and tell us, or you can go through our social media handle, Facebook at Ogun TV, Instagram Ogun State Television, and YouTube at OGTV Abeokuta. We will be expecting your answer, and if you can, pick your phone and call us in the appropriate time, and we will let you know if you are correct or not. We'll take this very short break, and when we return, my guest is already in the house. We'll start to discuss on this interesting topic that we have for you today. Glad to have you back. My guest for today is Engineer Dr. Grace MODUPEOLA AMUSAN. Engineer Dr. Grace MODUPEOLA AMUSAN is a registered civil engineer and a scholarly researcher. She lectures at the Department of Civil Engineering, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Ogun State, and the current head of department. She has professional expertise in instructional material and curriculum development, blast resistance design, structure and material engineering, and project management services. She has publications in referred journals, locally and internationally. Dr. Amushan has handled many projects as consultant and received several accolades in the field. She is a one-time financial secretary, 2018 to 2020, and the current serving treasurer of Nigeria Society of Engineers, NSC Abeokuta branch. She is presently the vice chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers, Ogun State chapter, and a member of the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN, and a member of the International Union of Laboratories and Experts in Construction Material System and Structure. Engineer Dr. Grace Amushan is a disciplinarian and has passion for 3R, which is raising, repairing, and restoring. She is happily married to Reverend Dr. Michael Tunde Amushan, and their union is blessed. That profile is more than that. This is abridged, because if we go through the real profile, the entire program will not be enough. You're welcome to Engineering and You.
Thank you.
I'm always curious anytime I see a female engineer, and what the reason for my curiosity is we don't have much of female in engineering. Why did you go into a path where most women don't want to go to?
Thank you. Actually, I love doing what is not common. I love mathematics, I love calculation, and I love something practical. So all those motivated me into engineering, and like I said, something that is not common, something people think is difficult, I feel I can do it.
Okay, so, but one thing that is difficult to most young Nigerians, at least 60 out of 100 of them, will tell you mathematics is difficult. How come you didn't say like, you said you love mathematics. How?
Actually, I love mathematics and I love it. And mathematics is into our daily activities. Mathematics is everywhere. I want to come here today is mathematics, meeting all the time. So when you see mathematics from that perspective that is in around us, is close to us, you will have the passion, you will have the love to first attempt it. Because of what I discover is that many people have a wrong impression, feel it's difficult, but it's not difficult. Everyone apply mathematics. So with that mind, and if you actually taste other side of it, you know, you don't need much of cramming, you only need daily practice. And once you are clear to the practice, you are up to the task and you can make it. So that's it.
When you chose to study civil engineering, your parents, how supportive or otherwise were they?
My parents are very supportive, even though I didn't have parents that study or read any arts of engineering, but they supported me. You know, as a child growing under my parents, they know what each of their children are up to. So with that, they know some of us, and we were encouraged right from childhood about mathematics anyway. They gave us that encouragement to love mathematics from childhood. So they supported the vision. Said, okay, this is what you said you will study. My dad in particular believed whatever you study, be the best. And he always encouraged me to be the best, which I also become.
All right, let's go into what you studied. You ventured into civil engineering and more of structure and material. Yes. Now, what is structure, for the sake of education, is structure a subset of civil engineering, or what is the relationship?
There are many fields in civil engineering. Structural engineering is one of them. We have highway, we have geotechnic, water engineering, environmental, and the like. But structural engineering is one of the key fields in civil engineering.
So how do we relate? How do human beings relate to structural engineering? What benefits do they have to society?
Structure, I would say, is what we live with in civil engineering as well. We talk about the building, we say it's structure. The bridges are highway, bridges on highway, they are structure. So even in water, we make use of structure, our dams, structure. So structure is core in civil engineering, and it's close to us. It's what we use, where we stay, things that help us.
What if there's a construction and a structural engineer is not involved? What would happen?
I want to say that is not possible. There is no way there will be a construction and structural engineering. Structural engineer will not be involved.
Because some people in most of our communities, you see them, okay, for example, they buy a land, they want to build a 3-bedroom apartment, and they say, okay, let me go and call one bricklayer or engineer to just erect this structure and all of that. And most of the time they build the house, they live in the house, it seems as nothing is wrong.
You said it seems nothing is wrong.
Yes.
But because they felt nothing has gone wrong, that does not mean nothing is actually wrong. And you know, those bricklayer and all the artisans they call, they can only maneuver their way in a bungalow or simple structure, and especially in area where We've
seen buildings and yet those buildings did not stand the test of time. Maybe they collapsed at some points during construction or after delivery of the building. What do you think could have been faulty in all of this? Because building collapse is almost like a normal thing in Nigeria.
Yes, let me say that because an engineer, a structural engineer, is in fault, that is not the underlying factor to say a structure will not be subjected to some failure situation. but what matters is adequate design. As a structural engineer, we make sure we design adequately for the project. In construction, there are 3 stages. We have the pre-construction stage, the construction, and post-construction stage. So the pre-construction stage, the design must be the criteria design must be well followed, and don't just waive any aspect or treat any aspect with negligence. You make sure you adhere strictly to the specification. Another thing is material. In the material, there are grades that are usually specified for each of the material. So it is needed and essential to follow this grade. But the challenge we are having now is, how are we sure the grade in the market are even the grade specified? And that is why engineer, we also emphasize on carrying out the test.
Who carries out the test?
The engineer tells the contractor to carry out the test. There are standard laboratory where the test can be carried out, and the engineer, the structural engineer or consultant that is around, we need to see the results. So there are other engineer technologists in the laboratory that carry out the test, but also being supervised under an experienced engineer. So
what in a situation where the materials that is supplied to be used for the building haven't gone through the test, is found to be unworthy, and you have to use as an engineer, what will be your reaction to that? Because they've pinpointed quality of material as one of the factors that lead to collapse of building. So as an engineer, what you do if you are in such a scenario?
In construction, there are books and sign adequately. So in situations where the materials supplied were discovered not to be adequate and the client insisted on using it, then the client will need to also sign.
Bring us back. Hello, Emmanuel.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening.
So many bricklayers today, they have experience more than...
Emmanuel, can you speak a little louder?
Yeah. So many engineers, so many bricklayers today, they have experience more than the so-called engineers. Because after the university level, you come out, because our university don't have any...
Okay, Emmanuel is saying that so many bricklayers have experience more than the so-called engineer. Do you want to agree with him?
That is not. There is no bricklayer that has experience more than engineer. I've been on site, even I lecture, I have opportunity also to go to site as consultants. They receive instruction from engineer. They dare not carry out any activity without approval of engineer. So we are the one that give them instruction on what to do. Okay,
I have had the opportunity of people saying that if you study engineering in the university, all you get is a theory and not the practical. Now I'm seated with a university lecturer. Okay, hello, good evening. Hello, Christopher, good evening. All right. Okay, I think we lost that. Now, what will you have to say about that?
We are practically oriented. Not only that when you go to university, there are several program outlines for any student to be well equipped, both in the theoretical aspect and in the practical. We have practical session, and there are programs in our curriculum that are already designed for students to go to outmanship, to go for sideways, that is the industrial training. Then we have the student work experience program. All these, they are enough for any student to have the right practical knowledge. But the concern and the challenge we have is many students, they will say they want to go for their sideways or they want to go for SWEP. They will be looking for where they will get money. So, but if any student that want to get the experience, we actually have the experience. So we advise students not to look for money first, but get the knowledge, get the experience, then money will come. Money will definitely come.
All right, if I want you to look at the camera and talk to a girl child, a girl teenager that wants to study engineering but is scared because he's not seen much of women succeed or in that field, what do you have to say in the next maybe 1 or 2 minutes?
Okay, so you, my friend, girl child that is watching us right now, I want to say you don't need to allow any fear in you or nurse any fear. Engineering is for female, engineering is for girl child. You can make it. And let me say that the world out there, they are waiting for you as a female, as a lady. They are waiting for you. And there are some things that will not be done except you are there.
All right, there are some things that will not be done as a girl child except you are there. Engineering is waiting for you. So those are the words of engineer Dr. Grace Amusan. And thank you so much for coming to Engineering Nigeria today. It's been a very, very educative one and a motivative one, if I can use that word. That's the end of Engineering Nigeria today. But before we go, we'd like the conversation to continue on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, like we always do. So the question for the week is, brass is an alloy made of what and what? Brass is an alloy made of what and what? If you know the answer, go on Facebook at OGTV, at Ogun TV, and on YouTube at OGTV Abeokuta, and on Instagram, Ogun State Television. On this note, I want to say a big thank you to everyone from wherever you're watching us, and next week's another time on Engineering and You. Till next week, I say bye-bye.